Aguilar, I also want to add my sincere condolences to the family of Sarah Beckstrom, the National Guard soldier senselessly killed last week. And I also pray that Andrew Wolf, the other National Guard soldier fighting for his life, pulls through. As Chairman Aguilar has said, we have an affordability crisis. That's one reason Donald Trump is polling at the lowest level ever for a modern-day president at this point in a term. Only 36% approval, over 60% disapproval. And for folks who shopped on Black Friday, last Friday, according to Salesforce, average prices across all products increased 7%. And then specifically for household goods, prices increased 24%. Things like furniture, appliances, dining, and decor all skyrocketed. And what is Donald Trump doing? He wants to make sure his Great Gatsby ballroom is as big as it can be. Trump and his rubber stamp Republicans are not focusing on the affordability crisis, and now we have healthcare costs skyrocketing. And if we don't extend ACA tax credits, it's going to mean that millions of Americans are either going to lose health insurance or pay a lot more for the healthcare premiums. Now I'd like to talk about war crimes. Last week, Secretary Hegseth lied and denied media reports that the U.S. military ordered a second strike on defenseless shipwrecked survivors. Then yesterday, both the White House and Hegseth said actually it was Admiral Bradley who ordered the second strike. I served on active duty as a JAG for 4 years and then an additional 21 years in the reserves. And let me be very clear, killing shipwreck survivors is a war crime. The Pentagon's own Department of Defense law manual on the law of war literally says that, quote, orders to fire upon the shipwreck will be clearly illegal. The Department of Justice must conduct an investigation into the war crime and hold all those accountable, including Secretary Hegseth. He allegedly said, quote, kill them all. If the Trump administration does not hold the people accountable, I guarantee you a future administration will do so, because there is no statute of limitations for war crimes. And now I have a message for the members of the United States military. Thank you for your service to our great nation. And for those of us who served, we know that we all followed a code of conduct. And part of that code of conduct is to not lie and to accept responsibility. Unfortunately, the head of the Department of Defense, Secretary Hegseth, engaged in dishonorable conduct. He stated on national TV, quote, I watched it live. We knew exactly who was in that boat. And instead of accepting responsibility for what happened, Hegseth chose to throw Admiral Bradley under the bus. Shame on Pete Hegseth. He is a coward.
Thank you for watching Crossline Politics. Before we get into today's urgent breakdown, make sure you like, subscribe, and turn on notifications so you never miss the truth that others won't say out loud. What we just witnessed from Representative Ted Lieu is one of the most direct, unapologetic calls for accountability we've seen in a long time. This video starts with him honoring two National Guard soldiers, one tragically killed, the other fighting for his life. And while Americans are dealing with real pain, real losses, and a real affordability crisis, Representative Lieu points out something that too many leaders are ignoring. Prices are spiking, families are struggling, and instead of addressing rising costs or protecting healthcare access, Donald Trump is focused on expanding his personal ballroom. That tells you everything about priorities in Washington. But then the video goes even deeper. Representative Lieu exposes disturbing allegations about a second military strike on defenseless shipwreck survivors. As a former JAG with decades of service, he makes it clear: firing on shipwreck survivors is a war crime. The Pentagon's own law manual says so plainly, yet Secretary Pete Hegseth first denied the reports, then shifted blame onto Admiral Bradley, even after saying on national TV that he watched the event unfold and knew exactly who was in that boat. A real leader takes responsibility. A real patriot owns the truth. Instead, Hegseth allegedly said, "Kill them all," and then tried to dodge accountability. That is dishonorable. That violates the code of conduct every service member is expected to follow, and Raptor Lieu is absolutely right to demand a full investigation. War crimes do not expire, and no official is above the law. As a patriot, I stand firmly with Representative Ted Lieu. When our military is used improperly or illegally, when leaders lie, when innocent lives are taken, we don't stay silent. We demand justice, not because it's political, but because it's American. Holding power accountable is not weakness. It is strength. It is patriotism. And it is necessary to preserve the integrity of our nation and the honor of those who serve it. If you believe in truth, accountability, and real patriotism, stay with us here at Crossline Politics. Like, subscribe, and share this video so more Americans know what is really happening.